You ever watched a horror movie so bad it somehow whips a U-turn and becomes borderline genius? Maybe the blood looks like ketchup, the monsters are in these Party City wigs, and you low-key have no idea what the hell is going on, but you're having fun. I've always had an eye for B-horror. There is just something so beautifully charming about the wacky, campy, low-budget aesthetic of it all. Seeing what a filmmaker can make do with a small budget is quite taxing on not all of the people involved, but it creates room for some cool artistic choices. And I mean, not to be that guy, but you know, word, if you get it, you get it. The people who can appreciate B-horror for what it is and, you know, venture out of the high budget theatrical release. You know who you are, and I salute you, my friends. If you are not a horror film kind of person, you're probably like, what the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're probably like, what the hell is B-horror? Bitch horror? Girl. Horror movies that start with a B? Damn, wait, what horror movies start with a B? I'm trying to think. Black Swan. Black Swan. Well, I was like, I am such a cliche. Like, I swear to God, that is like the only movie I ever talk about on here. Okay, let's get into it. I'm sorry. B-horror is a term people use to describe low-budget horror features, which are characterized by theatrical, campy acting.
You bastard! You lying sack of shit! Fuck you!
Exaggerating and over-the-top special effects, as well as unconventional storytelling. It can also be films that are clearly emulating those that are more in the mainstream. Unsurprisingly enough though, B-movies were the second feature in a double bill screening, made quickly and cheaply only with the intent to fill theater schedules and make a few extra bucks. While some B-horror pictures are seen as schlocky or exploitative, others are celebrated for their creativity, their DIY spirit, and ability to push genre boundaries without the constraints of major studio oversight. I'm gonna say this off the set, honorable mention, these 4 films which are very popular in this category, but this list is really kind of my favorites or ones that I really enjoy. Not saying I didn't like these, but they didn't make the list, right? So here's the thing, 4 films, talking about 4 films. Basket Case, I was about to say great film, wouldn't say that, wouldn't say that. Basket Case is very popular, very popular. That is a B movie. I did not like it. And it's not because of how weird it is. Something about it just didn't really do it for me, babes. And I also don't really remember a damn thing about it. I just remember the guy chasing the monster or whatever. It was like his brother. That's not a spoiler. Then there's Terrifier, and we all know Terrifier. I mean, here's the thing with Terrifier, you know, regardless of if you like them or not, the Hollywood machine, the filmmaking machine is based off of money. And I mean, what his budget for I've only seen the first 2. I haven't seen the 3rd one yet. And I think they just wrapped up filming the 4th one, but yeah, no, I know his budget for the 2nd one was around $250,000, and he made what, like 50 million at the like, or was it 7? Hold on, we gonna check. An indie horror film director having a big break like that. Are you telling me I'm supposed to like be mad, not like it because of the subject matter? No, get the f out of here. Art the Clown has a very distinct look. Definitely cemented himself as one of the greatest villains of the current times. Hats off to Damien. Hats off to Damien. 3rd honorable mention is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Another popular one. It was fine. Surprisingly, I watched Killer Clowns for the first time, like, I want to say last summer.
Oh, you here for the summer?
And I always saw it on like the Netflix DVD menu. I remember the first time I ever saw the poster. It was back when, you remember when we had Netflix on the Wii? Like who the hell was doing that? That was one of the options I had watched it on, like back when it first really came into the streaming thing, like after you could order DVDs and shit. But yeah, no, Killer Clowns, it was okay. It was all right. And lastly, The Evil Dead, which out of all of these, even the ones that I'm going to mention in my top 15, yeah, The Evil Dead is the most well-known out of all of those. If I was making this list more so as a essentials list or a, you know, an introductory list, then all 4 of those would have to be on there, plus some other ones. But this is more so of my personal, I already said it, I'm gonna say it again. These are my personal favorites, okay? Okay. I don't even think you can see me all the way up there, but I just gotta let it be known. Sorry for the yapping. Let's get into my top 10 15B horror films. The Stuff from 1985. Let's kick this list off with this wacky little sci-fi satirical horror comedy about this mysterious addictive dessert-like substance that takes over the minds of those who consume it. Yes, it looks like a big ball of shaving cream, and there's even a scene when our protagonist consumes shaving cream to trick his family into thinking he's eating it. Marketed as a delicious snack, The Stuff becomes a nationwide sensation after it's randomly found in the ground and eaten by this gross grandpa. Like, bro, why would you pop that in your mouth from the ground? Should I say it? I'm not gonna say it. Y'all know what I'm gonna say. But the true nature of The Stuff is far more sinister. The film follows an industrial saboteur named Mo Rutherford, a corporate spy hired by rival companies to uncover the secret behind The Stuff. And along the way, he teams up with a young boy named Jason, who witnesses his family falling under its influence, and Nicole, a marketing executive who helped popularize the product. As they investigate, they discover the horrifying truth and attempt to stop the spread of the stuff before it's too late. It's a fun social commentary critiquing consumer culture, corporate greed, and the dangers of blindly following trends. Popcorn, 1991. The title is levels below generic and could easily be put into any other genre. That's kind of, honestly, that's kind of like my main issue with this movie is the title, because what? Like popcorn, like we couldn't come up with something better. But then again, it's very meta and very fitting for this list. Released in 1991, Popcorn is a meta slasher film about a group of film students who organize a horror movie marathon at an old theater to raise money for their department. However, the night turns deadly when a masked killer connected to a traumatic event from one student's past begins targeting them. Obviously, I will not reveal who the killer is because I want you to watch it, but I just said that the biggest kicker in the balls for me was the name. Well, the biggest high for me in regards of this film is hands down the design of the killer and his entire performance. His look is, and it's low-key like the eyes too, like his look is, I don't know, I'm kind of scared. Like, I'm kind of scared. You know, nothing scares me. I'm quite desensitized, to say the least, but his design is creepy. If the movie doesn't look interesting to you, never mind. I was about to say, just go look it up. No, don't do that. Just watch the movie. Like, it's fun. It's a little fun little popcorn movie. The Lair and the White Worm, 1988. Oh, babe, this is a strange one. This is a strange one. Some of the visuals, which is kind of like the standout for this movie, I really want to show you, but they are a bit out there for YouTube. Peculiar and just offensive, but also campy and ridiculous. It's like it's a religious horror film, by the way. The Lair and the White Worm is a British horror comedy loosely based on Bram Stoker's novel of the same name. We follow an archaeology student, Angus, who unearths a large ancient skull on the property of a rural English bed and breakfast. He soon learns of the legend of the D'Ampton Worm, a mythical serpent slain by a local nobleman. When the eccentric and seductive Lady Sylvia Marsh returns to her nearby estate, strange events begin to unfold. Now, Lady Sylvia, a devoted servant of the snake god Dionin, seeks to resurrect the ancient serpent using human sacrifices. And as the serpent's influence grows, Angus and Lord James D'Ampton, a descendant of the legendary Worm Slayer, must race to stop her. It's got dark humor, it's surreal, it's erotic, it's religious. Yeah, it's crazy. Check it out. It's crazy. Valentine, 2001. You could argue that this is not a B film given the budget, which was $29 million. And this is also, for this one, this is how I said The Evil Dead was the most well-known out of every movie that I will bring up in this video. Valentine has the highest budget here. But it flopped hard, like it made a little bit over 36 million at the box office. And I feel like nobody remembers this movie. And I mean, outside of being a flop, it is a direct copy and under the radar film coming out in the post-Scream era. There's a lot of recognizable faces. David Boreanaz, who is Angel from Buffy, Katherine Heigl, Denise Richards, Marley Shelton, aka Deputy Judy Hicks, and Jessica Kufil from White Chicks. Valentine is a slasher that follows 5 female childhood friends who become the target of a vengeful killer in a Cupid mask. Years earlier, a boy named Jeremy Melton was humiliated and bullied at a school dance after several of the girls rejected him. And now, as Valentine's Day approaches, the women receive threatening Valentine's cards and are stalked by the masked killer. And one by one, they are brutally wiped out in elaborate and symbolic ways. It emulates the traditional slasher elements with themes of revenge, romance, and the consequences of past cruelty. Definitely the most polished of all of these, but to me, it's a B horror film. The fact that it flopped, the fact that nobody remembers, walk up to anybody, even a horror fan, be like, do you remember Valentine? And they're gonna be like, My Bloody Valentine? Like, what are you talking about? So, yeah, B movie, suck it. The Stepfather, 1987. Great film. I still remember the first time I watched it was during the pandemic. Oh, I had a lot of fun with this movie. The opening scene is brilliant. Brilliant. This picture is a psychological thriller about a man named Jerry Blake, who on the outside appears to be the perfect family man. However, Jerry is actually a psychotic killer who assumes new identities, marrying widowed or divorced women to create his ideal family. When his new family inevitably fails to meet his impossible standards, he executes them and moves on to start anew. The main story follows Jerry's latest attempt at this twisted cycle, having married a woman named Susan and becoming a stepfather to her teenage daughter, Stephanie. While Susan is unaware of Jerry's dark side, Stephanie grows increasingly suspicious of his behavior. And as she investigates his past, Jerry's facade begins to unravel. Being a psychological thriller, expect slow bits, but it all builds to a tense climax as Jerry's violent tendencies resurface, forcing Stephanie to confront the dangerous man behind the mask. It's funny how in films like this, the protagonist would normally be the teenage girl. I mean, the first movie that kind of pops into my head with this formula going on would be Fright Night, where we follow the teenager and his mom starts dating their neighbor and there's something going on, vampire, But yeah, normally we would be following the teenage girl, but here we are following the killer. And we're gonna see how far he can take it. It's a fun one. It's a fun one. You should check it out. Blood Rage, 1987. Oh, I gotta rewatch this. I gotta rewatch this one. It's been a while. I love films with a twin trope. I do. Like Hallie, what twin? Yes. Yes. Amen. Shot in 1983, but not released until 1987 when it was recut and shown in theaters as Nightmare at Shadow Woods. Blood Rage is a cult slasher that revolves around twin brothers, Todd and Terry, and a gruesome killing that takes place during their childhood, where at a drive-in theater, Terry kills a man with a hatchet and frames his innocent brother Todd for the crime. Todd is institutionalized while Terry lives a seemingly normal life with their mother, Maddie. Years later, on Thanksgiving night, yes, this is a Thanksgiving horror film, Todd escapes from the mental institution, triggering a violent chain of events. As Maddie spirals into paranoia, believing Todd to be in danger, Terry embarks on a stabby spree to cover his tracks and maintain his innocent persona. The film is notorious for its over-the-top gore, dark humor, and 80s ass synth vibes, making it a beloved entry in the 80s slasher genre. Society, 1989. Some of the most questionable acting on this list. I mean, the girlfriend's name, the girlfriend of the protagonist, it's a blonde woman, a blonde white woman, and her name is Shauna. He's like, Shauna, wait. Shauna, wait.
I don't know, Billy. Maybe we should start seeing other people.
Wait a minute, Shauna, wait. Shauna.
Billy, how could you?
Look, Shauna.
Like, what am I watching right now? Society critiques class divisions and social elitism. We follow Bill Whitney, a wealthy teenager living in Beverly Hills who feels increasingly alienated from his affluent family and peers. Though despite his privileged upbringing, Bill suspects something sinister about the upper class, especially as he uncovers disturbing secrets about his own family. His paranoia grows when a friend provides a disturbing recording that seemingly captures his family engaging in grotesque and perverse acts. Yeah. Eventually, Bill discovers the horrifying truth. So what does Billy Boy find out? I guess you gotta watch to find out. I'm sorry, that was bad. So what does Billy Boy find out? Well, you gotta watch the damn movie, bro. It's surreal, it's grotesque, it's slimy, and yeah, it's commentary on those weird ass elite people, freaking wealthy weird. Eat the rich! Intruder, 1989. This is another one that has a pretty weak plot. It's quite, if we're talking about story, it's quite forgettable, but that's not really the charm about this movie. It's the kills and the cinematography. It's all very Sam Raimi. And guess what? Sammy and his brother Teddy star in the film, as well as Bruce Campbell. If you don't know who Sam Raimi is, well, should I cuss you out now or later? That man is one of the GOATs. The GOAT! Sam Raimi created the Evil Dead franchise. That first one, which I believe it was 1981, he was 20 years old, 21, and he made that, wrote, direct, edited, shot. Like, that still blows my mind to this day. Like, that is bananas. Like, I'm like, damn, what am I doing? I'm about to be 44. Oh, psych, I'm kidding. Sam Raimi also did Drag Me to Hell.
Yup.
That ending.
Yup.
Still rent free in my head. Also one of the only PG-13 horror films. Hold on. I was about to say, is it the only one or is it one of them? It might be. Oh no. It might be the only one I can tolerate. No, there's gotta be another one. There might be another one, but I'm going to say it. It's probably the only PG-13 horror film that I can tolerate. And Sammy also did Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man trilogy. Anyhor, Intruder is a slasher film set almost entirely within a supermarket. The story follows a group of night shift employees who are closing up the store for the last time as it's about to go out of business. Tensions rise over the store's impending closure, and an unknown killer begins taking those minimum wage homies out one by one. It's got very inventive and gory death scenes utilizing the store's equipment in gruesome ways. Look, everyone should watch this at least once. Reanimator, 1985. Here we have a horror comedy based on H.P. Lovecraft's short story Herbert West, Reanimator, where we follow Herbert West, a brilliant but unhinged medical student who has developed a serum capable of reanimating the dead. West moves in with fellow student Dan Kane and quickly drags him into his messy, gruesome experiments. As West's obsession grows, his reckless use of the serum leads to horrific consequences. The reanimated corpses become violent and uncontrollable just as matters escalate further when Dr. Hill, a corrupt professor, tries to steal Wes's discovery. And after Wes decapitates him, Hill uses the serum to reanimate his own severed head, becoming a grotesque antagonist. The practical effects and Jeffrey Combs' iconic performance as Herbert, along with the film's gleefully macabre tone, have cemented its status as a standout in 80s horror. Angel, 1983. Time to get a little taboo in this bitch. Angel is a crime thriller that follows the double life of a teenage girl named Molly Stewart. By day, Molly is an honor student at an upscale high school, but by night, she works as a prostitute on the streets of Los Angeles.
How much you want to spend?
About $20.
You have a good night.
Under the alias Angel to support herself. Despite her dangerous lifestyle, Molly has built a surrogate family among the eccentric characters of Hollywood Boulevard, including a drag queen named May and an aging cowboy named Kit. However, her world is all shook up when a serial killer begins targeting sex workers in the area. And as the killer closes in, Detective Andrews investigates the crime, forming a protective bond with Molly. Angel combines a cool, gritty crime drama with elements of exploitation cinema, exploring themes of survival, found family, and the harsh realities of street life. Okay, two things about this movie. One, this film probably has one of the craziest lines I've ever heard in cinema history.
I think we better do this another time.
You're not going anywhere. Maybe just put a little smile on your face. You better be 14, baby, or I'm gonna throw you back in for being too old.
Wait a minute now.
Oh. And two, this film might have one of my favorite chase scenes ever. Angel wears this yellow dress with these 6-inch wedges, and she's carrying this cowboy pistol, just sprinting through the Hollywood Strip after this guy. But wow, what a moment. I will never forget. You know what? I'm gonna do this for Halloween. Yup. I'm gonna do this for Halloween one year. I'm gonna go to a big Halloween party and I bet you a pack of fruit snacks. What? Ain't nobody gonna get it. You uncultured swines. Get into it. Get into it. Demons, 1985. Directed by Lamberto Bava and produced by, wait for it, Dario fucking Argento. Are you serious? Are you serious to me right now? Tweet it, quote it, frame it, hang it up. I'm not gonna even show foot, like just what? Watch it. You don't need, that's all you need. That's all you need. This is a stylish Italian horror film with extremely gory practical effects. Some of my favorite I've honestly probably ever seen, mind you, and it's also a supernatural terror. The story follows a group of people who attend a mysterious film screening at a lavish Berlin theater. The movie they watch depicts the resurrection of demons, and as the audience becomes engrossed, the horror on screen begins to spill into reality. When a woman is scratched by a mask displayed in the theater lobby, she transforms into a monstrous demon. Her infection spreads rapidly, turning other attendees into bloodthirsty creatures, and now the survivors must fight to escape the sealed theater as chaos erupts. Fast-paced, blood-soaked, and pure nightmare fuel. This film kicks ass. Italian filmmakers really know how to do it. They really know how to do it. This is a great film. Tourist Trap. I say this a lot, and I'm also going to say it for number 2, but I mean, it applies. But Tourist Trap feels like a bad dream. It's not colorful, it's not aesthetic. Instead, it's quiet, it's unsettling, it's atmospheric. There's just something off. This picture is a supernatural slasher with a surreal and eerie aesthetic surrounding mannequins. The story follows a group of young friends who experience car trouble and find themselves stranded near a mysterious roadside attraction, which is a rundown wax museum owned by a man named Mr. Slauson. Slauson, a seemingly harmless and eccentric man, warns them of the dangers in the area, but the friends soon discover the terrifying truth. The museum is filled with eerily like mannequins that seem to move on their own. As they explore, they are stalked and killed by a masked killer with telekinetic powers.
Sometimes I really don't know what I'm doing. Oh, isn't she pretty?
This is like actually a nightmare. Did y'all hear that? Yeah, I don't like that. I'm scared, y'all. Sleepaway Camp, 1983. You knew this was coming. Top 3. This film is set at Camp Arawak, a summer camp where a series of brutal murders take place from an off-screen killer. We follow shy and traumatized Angela Baker, who attends the camp with her protective cousin Ricky. Through the film, Angela is bullied by other campers and staff, while Ricky is always there to kick someone's ass.
Cocksuckers! Pricks! I'm here to fight you chicken shits! I'll kick your friggin' asses all over this goddamn camp, you fucks!
Hey, dick-face, leave her alone.
Oh, yeah? What are you gonna do about it, asshole?
I won't die for this shit or what the fuck I say. Front yard.
I'm gonna beat your fucking asses in!
Trained to go everywhere.
I don't have time for your nonsense right now.
Well, excuse me, bitch.
As the body count rises, the camp descends into chaos, and suspicion falls on several characters. The practical effects are gross and sometimes silly. The performances and character tics are hilarious.
Eat shit and die, Ricky!
Eat shit and live, Bill.
And the film's final twist scene will have your jaw on the fucking floor. I say with my entire chest, Sleepaway Camp is the most controversial entry in the slasher subgenre, period. House, 1977. Fever dream is a very overused word. I'm quite guilty of it myself, but I've yet to see a film that better represents the core meaning of that term besides this movie. House is a colorful, whimsical acid trip. It's art house, it's experimental in the best way, it's surreal, it just really defies all conventional storytelling. We follow a schoolgirl named Gorgeous who invites 6 of her friends to her aunt's remote countryside home for a summer getaway. The girls, each named after their defining traits like fantasy, melody, and kung fu, etc., soon realize that the house is haunted and possesses a malevolent spirit. And as the supernatural forces awaken, the girls are attacked in peculiar and imaginative ways, including a piano that devours its player and mattresses that come to life. Its playful yet unsettling tone, along with its innovative filmmaking techniques, has made it a standout in Japanese cinema. I cannot recommend this film enough. And at number 1, we have The Slumber Party Massacre from 1982. And you know why this is going at number 1? Because I've seen it the most. It's quintessential B horror. Killer on the loose whose weapon is a driller. Teen girls who were, definitely 24 when they filmed. There's tatas for the boys, justice for the girlies. This is a film you will always be in the mood to watch or have playing in the background. And you know what else? It was directed by a woman.
Women's stories matter. Yeah. Right. They just matter. Yeah.
I won't be apologizing tonight. I won't. Jokes aside, this film, as I said seconds ago, just sums up the B-horror category altogether. It's a great film to put on with your buds, get some pizza, have some beer, have some laughs.
I feel better already, really I do.
The title is great. It's a strong template for a horror film and what it set out to do. We follow a group of teenage girls who throw a slumber party while their parents are away, and unbeknownst to them, an escaped serial killer named Russ Thorn, armed with a power drill, is lurking nearby. As the night progresses, the girls, along with some uninvited male classmates, become his targets. Little Russie drills through them one by one using his signature weapon. Meanwhile, the girls' neighbor, Valerie, and her younger sister, Courtney, become unintentionally involved in the violent chaos. While Slumber Party Massacre adheres to typical slasher tropes, it's notable for its underlying satirical tone. Written by feminist author Rita Mae Brown as a parody of the genre, the film ultimately blends campy horror with subtle commentary on gender and violence. It's a mix of gore, dark humor, and its self-awareness has earned its cult status in the horror community. I will always stand up for this genre. There are quite a lot of horror films that are dumpster fire. And when I say quite a lot, I'm talking hundreds upon hundreds, but there are also some great ones. 95% of this entire list was from the 80s, which, nobody's going to argue that that was the golden age for horror and slashers in general. Like, they were pumping these bitches out like Nick Cannon's sperm. Word, If there is at least one picture on this list that you have not seen, I urge you to watch it in any way you see fit. Roll up, have a drink, or just get your sober, #sober, get your favorite pop or Fiji water. I don't know, whatever you drink. Like, not to get cornball here, but that's really what's at the core of these movies. With horror films in general, and just especially B-horror, right? The lower budget. It's like, what happened to fun? What happened to fun? I don't know, babe. Something about, seeing these horrible people get cut up is fucking funny to me. Does that make me sick?
Maybe so.
Well, I'm just a boy. What do you think about my B-horror list? What have you not seen? What looks good? And of course, comment any that I left out. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Not to toot my own horn or, not to suck my own dick, But I have some very cool videos coming up. And if you don't subscribe, you're just gonna have to miss out, bro. Until next time, my friends, take care of your mind, take care of your body, and take care of your spirit.